Hey everybody, this is going to be kind of a quickie video showing a project that I worked on that I rushed through to get done before Adepticon, and I got it all finished, and it was a pretty big hit in the Wild West Exodus room, showing off some of the Western stuff that I've been doing, some of the Welcome to Rock Ridge kits. This was my original gallows. This gallows was actually based off of one in Texas. So I did some research and found a design for it, and it turned out really well. I mean, I even included things like, you know, the actual, I'll tilt this up so you can see it, the actual floor drops away, which was kind of cool, you know, and I've got steps and all the other fun stuff on it. And it's a really good looking model. The problem is, if we put one of the Wild West Exodus figures up there, it's kind of big. It's really big. Main reason is this one, since it is based off of a real gallows, I tried to keep the scale of a real gallows. Turns out that a lot of those old gallows weren't exactly as small as people thought. The drop in most cases was between 8 and 10 feet. So basically you're talking about a 2-story building. You're standing on the second floor balcony, and they're throwing you off of it. So it makes for kind of a big piece of equipment. And it's a beautiful design, and I love it. But again, it's one of those that because it is scaled, it's scaled off of something real, and it's scaled on top of that to be a playable model, it gets a little bit big. So went back to the drawing board after I got back from Adepticon and talking to some people. And we'll get this one out of the way. And we toned it down a little. So, did this version of it. And actually I'm going to back that up so you can see all the way to the bottom of it. Now this one I actually left the front railing off of. And I'll turn it sideways a little bit so it looks a little bit better on the screen. But you still have the stairs. But this one's not as big. So if I put that one there, and we'll put the other one next to it. Now back up the camera. You can kind of see the difference in size. The second one, I took basically the same setup and toned it down a little bit. Unfortunately, in toning it down, you do lose some of the mass. I love this really thick, chunky setup of this one, where it's nice and big and heavy. With this one, it's not really as, with redesign, it's not really as heavy. There may be some minor changes. I may put the front rail back, and I like this little detail here of having the stays. I do have that detail on the side of it, which I had on this one as well, but I don't have it at the front or the back, so I think I may go back and add a front piece to it, but the basic design is really not going to change. It's going to be more just adding stuff to it versus taking stuff away. So we'll get the big one out of the way. Whoops. And we'll move the camera back in here, so you can see. So now if I take that same fig, notice that the scale's a little bit closer to what it should be. Same thing underneath it when I put them underneath it. So the scale is still is decent size. It's big enough you can get your hand in to move models around, which is kind of nice. I made sure to make the staircases wide enough for a standard base. So these are on, I believe it's like a 33 inch or 33 millimeter base as opposed to your standard 30. But got a few other figs here, so I've got this is a Hordes figure. So, but something a little bit more, that we're a little more used to. I'll zoom in a little so you can get some of the details. There you go. But it's kind of it's a neat little model kit. Of course, I did carry over a lot of the functions of the other ones, so let me move some of these guys off of here so I can tilt this so you can see. So there is still the drop. So if I pull this little lever in front, it does still drop open. So you still have that option, which is kind of nice. I actually added little spots to kind of hold the rope in place. This one, because I have to paint it and everything else to get it up on the website, I haven't put the rope on it. But I'm actually going to be adding ropes to this one and everything else because this is going to go on my personal table. I'm in the middle of building out a miniature, like 3x3 or 4x4, or I should say I'm at the planning stages of a 3x3 or 4x4 Wild West Exodus Malifaux demo type table. And this will probably be one of the pieces that ends up on it. But, neat little kit. This one's going to be showing up on the site soon. Probably within a week of this video going up, depending on how things go. I kind of want to, I'm trying to decide if I want to get it painted, if I've got enough time to stain it and everything else before I put it up on the site, so you can see a finished one, because I like the way that the wood stain turned out on this one, where all I did with it was just pop some wood stain on it, and it turned out really nice, and I love that finish. So it was a really quick one to work on. I want to do kind of the same thing with this one. But that's the new gallows piece. It's a pretty neat little model. It's still got enough size to it to have some presence on the table, but it's not so big that it dominates the table, which is nice. A lot of the terrain pieces I do are fairly large, and I do that so that you can actually move figures around them and those sorts of things. With this one, I was able to maintain that ability to move stuff around it without having to make it overly large. So that's the newest kit. It's excuse me, I had to sneeze. That's the new gallows kit. It'll be up on the site shortly. If you have any questions or anything, go ahead and drop us a line or put something in the comments. For now, later guys.